Hello, this video is entitled My Negative Experience with Higher Education. I decided to film this video just to share my story, share what I think needs to change, and also to ask people who watch this video, at least one person, if one person could just type in your opinion about what you think I'm saying, because it's kind of an interesting story to me. And the story goes like this. I failed out of the education department in my college, so I'm a failure. They failed me. I went to college, Fort Lewis College in Durango, Colorado, which, by the way, is not, it's a total kind of a party college. It's, I knew kids who didn't even graduate from junior high, dropped out of school after 7th grade and got into that school. And, I had a friend who didn't even graduate high school and got into that school. And, I went to the school and, I never had to do homework for my classes. I just partied the whole time. And, now, but at the same time, I majored in English education because I wanted to be. I majored in English because I liked writing, and I thought I was going to be able to write, and I never was actually. It was mainly just a kind of like history class for English, kind of like the Industrial Revolution in England and English writers in the 1800s, and that was kind of interesting. I got to learn about what England was like in the Industrial Revolution. It was a pretty horrible place, man. You'd be glad you live now and not then. But anyways, and education, because I wanted to be a teacher, because I like learning stuff and explaining it to people. But it didn't work out that way, and this is what happened. I guess it all started when I was like a freshman or something, or a sophomore. I think I was a sophomore. Or a junior. No, I think I was a junior, actually. I can't remember. I was like 20 or 21 or something. And I was doing my practicum hours. See, in the school I took all the education classes. I did 100 practicum hours. I did everything. All I needed to do was do 4 months of student teaching, and then I would have had my English, my Colorado teaching license. But I guess one of the first practicum hours, I went to the high school in Durango, and I guess they put me into the wacky kids class, I guess the alternative kids class, and I was supposed to, I guess, tutor this girl, who's like a really cool girl, like super kayaker girl, been down the Grand Canyon twice and the Cataract Canyon twice on a kayak, named Claire, and she's all tripping on acid, and I'm all like hanging out with her, and then I'm done, and I'm like, I didn't want to go back in the high school because I didn't want to get lost and not know where the bathroom was, so I kind of snuck behind a shed and I peed, and I guess I didn't notice that their security guard guy saw me. He runs up and he's like, "What you doing?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, what's up?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm just here doing the student teaching." He's like, "What's your name?" I'm like, "Kyle Pounds." He's like, "All right, cool." Anyway, next day at class, the head of the teacher program or whatever pulls me out of class, and he's like, "We're gonna have to ask you to drop out of the whole teacher education program." And I go, "What? Why?" And he goes, "Because you were busted peeing on the high school lawn." And I was like, "What?" "Well, I'm not gonna drop out for that." And he goes, "Well, you're gonna have to talk to our main boss guy." So I go and talk to the main boss guy. I don't think I'll name any names because I talked to the main boss guy. And he's all, "Yeah, dude, gonna have to ask you to drop out because I just got talking like a half hour, having to explain myself because the principal of the high school was just blasting me a new ear, telling me how I could possibly allow a scumbag like you to enter our esteemed education program in our school." And it's like, in this school? And it was weird because it's like, at that time they needed 600,000 new teachers in America. Teachers only get like $30,000 a year. It's not like the most coveted job in the world. Teachers work from 7 in the morning till like late at night every day and have to volunteer and work on weekends and all this stuff. It's not, I was like, what? I was like, no way, dude, I'm not gonna. He was like, plus you have to cut those dreadlocks off your head. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm in school. I'm paying you guys. You work for me. He was like, no, if you're gonna go into these schools and do student teaching or whatever, kids will get distracted. I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, hey man, you don't understand. When I was in your age, I got arrested just for walking across the street because I had long hair. And I go, well, that was the 60s, and I'm not even doing student teaching. I'm the student now. I'm 20 years old. And I'm like, no, dude, I'm not going to drop out of your thing. I'm going to be a teacher. And they're like, well, we can't make you. So anyway, and then a couple of years later, I'm about to graduate. And now it was pretty clear that these guys didn't like me because one of them was all like, are you still living out of your van? I'm like, yeah. And then another guy goes, I have bad handwriting, and then they failed me in my like presentation test. Are you supposed to prove that you know how to talk in front of people? And so then I had to take it again, and I guess they passed me there. But anyways, I had the one final class called Methods of Teaching, and where you're supposed to make a 3-minute long, I think like a 2 or a 3-minute long, 5-minute long presentation of a 3-week long lesson plan of something that you make. And I made one that was 50 pages long. I kind of went overboard on this. Kind of collecting all these other pages I do. And basically, most of those pages were like example papers, because I did one for the paper I did. I thought was really good. It was a 3-week. It was a research paper that you do where all the kids first do note cards, and then they all share like what they want to do, the ideas about, and then they share their notes with the rest of the school. It's kind of like progressive, and they all interactive with all the students together. And anyway, you're supposed to follow a syllabus. I can't believe I can't remember my paper, but it was anyway, it was for a research paper that you write. And anyway, I thought it was really good. And I had a class of about 10 kids, 10 people. And the teacher had all the 10 people do their presentation, and all the other guys were really, really simple stuff, just like games. One guy just had a game, and he was done in a minute. And then it was my turn, but it was the very last day, and they only gave me 1 minute. And I think your presentation was supposed to last like 10 or 20 minutes or something. But I got 1 minute into my first presentation, and the bell rang, and that was the very last day of the class, so I actually never got to give it at all. I only got to do like a quick introduction for about a minute, and then it was over. And so then it was like became grade time, and the teacher goes, "Oh, I can't give you a grade because you have to fix your sample papers." Oh yeah, I remember what my paper was about. It was about you make the rough draft, and then you make you fix the draft, and then you have a paper. Anyway, all of my rough drafts and stuff, he didn't like them. He thought they were too politically charged. So I'm like, all right, cool. So I fixed those, and then he made me do something else. I can't remember what it was. And then I fixed that, and then he goes, oh yeah, the title of one of your papers has to be a title of has to switch over the title of this. Like switch the titles on 2 of the chapters, and then he wanted me to do something else that was just as like trivial. And I didn't like agree with him, so I just didn't do it. And then like the next year I came back because I had to finish the semester, and he goes, "Oh yeah, I gave you a grade, but it wasn't very good." And I was like, "All right, whatever." And then they had me for the student teaching, and I met the woman, and all of a sudden something happened with the woman, and she couldn't do the student teaching with me. So then I was like, "All right, well I gotta go." I know I traveled around the world for 2 years. I came home, and then I was like, I called them up, and I go, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna do my student teaching," and they go, "You can't do the student teaching because you got a D- in that class. So you're screwed. You're not gonna get your teaching license because I got a D- in that class." But he never told me I had a D-. He said my grade wasn't very good. So like, is that fair? Was I gypped? So anyways, I'm out of time.